Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that I believe is a major concern that the story is going to have to address at some point in the future moving forward, which is the unsealing of Naruto Uzumaki and Hinata Uzumaki, and why there might be a potential issue that results of this that the story is setting up that we as fans, we need to be talking about and taking note of moving forward. As we saw in chapter 6 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, we learned that Kawaki was made aware that the evolved shinjuu, they weren't just targeting people like Boruto and Kawaki, but they were also targeting other people, in particular Naruto Uzumaki. It opened up a large can of worms, or rather large can of worms, that Kawaki got placed into a very uncomfortable position when Damon pointed it out, making a point to highlight when he was taunting him. Kawaki had spent the last 3 years taking advantage of Omnipotence and reversing the memories of everyone, making them believe that Boruto was the ungrateful boy who was adopted by Naruto and turned on him, and that Kawaki was the beloved son of Konoha that everyone remembered, helping in the heroic efforts that led to the saving of the village from Momoshiki and Ishiki. Kawaki spent the last 3 years taking advantage of this and trying to make people hunt down Boruto and kill him by making them believe that Naruto and Hinata were dead, killed by Boruto's hands, and only a handful of people knew that this wasn't the actual truth and that Boruto was innocent of the crimes that he was being charged with. That it was a well thought out deception by Kawaki. However, as Damon put it, Kawaki had no reason to kick his feet up moving forward and relax, because he stood right now at the most to lose all the things that he's worked so hard to get, now that things have escalated to this point. The leader of the shinjuu, the one who calls himself Jura, is now planning to come to Konoha with the intention to seek out Naruto Uzumaki and devour him. Due to unknown reasons why Jura is so connected towards Naruto, Damon rightfully pointed out to Kawaki that this is the worst possible outcome for him, because it would lead to people asking the questions about whether or not Naruto and Hinata are actually dead, and all eyes would inevitably turn to Kawaki, the boy who told everyone that this was the case and who everyone believed. All of his emotional manipulation, all of his gaslighting that has gone on, and all of the manipulation that has led to the walls beginning to start closing in on Kawaki. And this is a bigger deal than I feel some fans actually realize. Right now, he stands the chance of being exposed, and based off his prior actions, when Kawaki gets backed into a corner, he gets desperate, and when he gets desperate, he makes some of the rather questionable decisions that have long-lasting effects in the story, which is a reader, that's great for the sake of conflict, because it means that he's going to muck up the story in a way that raises the stakes, much like he did when he pulled up on Naruto at Naruto's house, told Naruto sit down. Naruto sat down because he knew Kawaki was stronger than him. Then he sealed Naruto away alongside Naruto's wife without Naruto even being able to protect his wife, and was attempting to kill Boruto, openly telling Naruto, hey, I'm about to go smoke your son. That led to the Omnipotence getting casted. A desperate Kawaki is a great vehicle to move the story forward in a narrative way, just as Sasuke multiple times throughout Naruto's manga was the primary vehicle that moved the narrative along as well. The idea of people questioning Kawaki, the guy who they believe is Naruto's son, is something that has layers to it in terms of the type of story you can tell, because it lends itself to the whole thing that Ada told Sarada and Sumire in the past. If you want to make people change their minds about omnipotence, you can't simply wave a magic wand and go, okay, you've all been lied to this entire time. Your memories, they have been altered, because they're just gonna look at you crazy and say that you're lying. Hey, that's a picture of Naruto, baby Boruto. Look, girl, I know that's Photoshop. I know you're lying right there. But when you drop the breadcrumbs for them, they discover that they're more likely going to come to that conclusion that something is wrong, because they aren't directly questioning the omnipotence. The reputation Boruto built up in the past as being Naruto's son who's redeemed himself from cheating in the Chunin exams, it's got a lot of goodwill already built into the story, and that goodwill isn't going to have people question Kawaki's word when he says that Boruto's parents are dead, because in their mind, Kawaki is the firstborn child of the Uzumaki clan. However, when you have Jura openly going through Konoha, likely asking, where's the 7th Hokage, where's Naruto Uzumaki, and fairly certain that Naruto is alive in the village somewhere is actually containing Naruto, there are going to be questions that are asked, and that's going to force the hand of someone like Shikamaru, something that That's an unintended consequence we have to look at. Right now, currently, Shikamaru knows that Boruto and Kawaki, they have switched lives in the memories of everyone around the world with only a few outliers, but he doesn't yet know that Naruto's alive. That hasn't been confirmed for him yet. He knows based off what Sarada told him for the last 3 years that the situation is more complicated than he actually thought it was. Shikamaru refused to listen because Shikamaru was under the omnipotence. He still is under the omnipotence. He just knows that his memories have been altered. Shikamaru might be forced to move from the stance of supporting Boruto from the shadows to having to openly stand against Kawaki if there's a chance that Naruto's still alive, because it will point all the signs towards Kawaki, and the fact that Shikamaru is already telling Ino, hey, make sure Ada is not aware of the conversations we're having. That's a sign that he's suspecting Ada lied to him 3 years ago about what happened to Naruto. If he believes that there's even a remote possibility that Kawaki holds the key to Naruto's safety, which we as the audience know via the usage of dramatic irony, where we know things that characters in universe don't know, Shikamaru would have to force Kawaki's hand, particularly if the shinjuu do arrive looking for Naruto, because he would no longer have the luxury of keeping things a secret to maintain the village stability and having the option to gather more intel and come up with his own plan to expose Kawaki and force him to unseal Naruto in the process. Much like how Shikamaru was able to trap Code by tricking Code, you can see Shikamaru is beginning to start thinking of ways to do something like that with Kawaki, but having to be more extra careful because of how strong Kawaki is in comparison to Code. That creates a desperate side to Kawaki, and it does make us go back to the opening sequence of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, where he says, I didn't think that you would go this far, Kawaki, where Boruto looks genuinely stunned at how things have progressed. On one hand, the argument can be made that he was talking about taking advantage of the omnipotence and taking Boruto's life and framing Boruto for Naruto's murder and keeping the charade up for 3 years. You could make that argument, but there still exists the possibility that Kawaki took things too far after being exposed for everything. The idea to go whole scorched earth isn't something we can rule out at this point. However, to play devil's advocate, if Kawaki is forced to unseal Naruto because of the shinjuu Jura potentially having access to the Daikokun dimension, since he does have those chakra cubes all around him, we have to ask the question of, will Naruto ever be able to forgive Kawaki for what he's done upon learning the truth? And then the other question, if he is unsealed, given we know how omnipotence affected people regardless as to if they're in another dimension, evident by Code at the end of Boruto Naruto Next Generations being revealed as being affected by omnipotence and blaming Boruto in chapter 80 for taking away Ada and killing Ishiki, things that he should have been blaming Kawaki for, but hey, his memories got altered. We have to ask the question of, was Naruto affected as well, since being in another dimension doesn't safeguard you from the effects of the omnipotence based on what we saw with Code, who just happened to be in a Otsutsuki clan linked dimension and still got affected. So by extension, Naruto in theory should be affected as well. Kawaki has a few bubbling pots that are getting ready to boil over on the stove, and as Damon predicted, it all starts and ends with this lie about Naruto being dead. That is the original sin. Had he just claimed that he was Naruto's son, things wouldn't have gone any further, but he reached too far and he's left himself exposed. His own downfall might be self-inflicted, and it might be something that forces him to unseal Naruto in the future, which, given how obsessed he is with Naruto, it does make you wonder what will happen if he fears losing the very thing that he's wanted for so long, Naruto Uzumaki. If he's willing to go so far as to kill Naruto's son and verbally state to Naruto that he can kill Kawaki after Kawaki kills Boruto, what else is Kawaki willing to do once the pressure gets onto him? Damon is a troll, and he's done a lot of things undesirable. He's got a face that makes you want to punch him the moment that you see him. But he might have actually figured Kawaki out and is merely stating the obvious truth that Kawaki doesn't want to hear. He's built a house on a cracked foundation of lies, and once the biggest lie he's built, the life, the metaphorical home, is pulled out from underneath him, Kawaki will lose it all, and he's not going to be able to handle it. Just like he couldn't handle the love for Boruto and people refusing to view Boruto as a threat despite him having Momoshiki sealed away inside of him when he snapped at the end of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. we're getting into a danger zone here with Kawaki, and I think the story might be setting Naruto's fate being publicly revealed as the thing that both puts Kawaki on blast and the thing that drives Kawaki to his most undesirable and explosive outcome so far. However, this is why I do turn this over to you guys and I ask a very sincere, serious question. How do you think Kawaki will react once the shinjuu pop up in Konoha asking about Naruto's location? Is he likely to react the way Naruto did in the latest Chainsaw Man chapter, which you can watch the review for that by clicking the link on the screen?